Yo, what's up? So, beautiful, powerful, organized, keeping the energy balanced. And yeah, welcome to this video. So, now let's get straight to the point. Let's get focused. How to finally get the mysteries of this universe. Of course, it's quite a lot, but some of it, I chop some down for you. So we stop creating this mess, hopefully, and we all can align ourselves with who we truly are and our higher self and what we really want to create from the heart, from the core. The masculine, the feminine, the perfect balance and union which is already there. And yes, this is what this video is about. Oh, shit. Wait a second. Yeah, I know, it looks weird, I'm quite tall, so look quite weird on camera. I don't care. So, work in progress as we all are. Again, this video as well. So, what did I want to talk about? I called it the mysteries of this universe. And yeah, so this video is all about that we should get focused now. And we do that by realigning our left side as well, because the right side was counterbalancing it all, as some of you might know. That's why it was called the Rising of the Divine Feminine years ago, but now it's the Rising of the Christ, perfect balance. So now let's get straight to the point. We want to get focused because we don't want to create this mess anymore, because you actually, not everyone wants to truly create from their heart and wonderful life they can enjoy, and stop this energy taking once and for all. As well, even from one perspective, the energy takers, because they created hell for themselves, because they couldn't look at it any further, and that's why I want to get deep. So I hope this might help and give you some understanding where we're at right now as I see it. Of course, my perspective, so I'm not the ultimate prime creator or source or God, however you want to call it. But I'm one with the creator that I am, and so are you. So perfectly, highest alignment, as I always say. Now let's get to the point. How did we get here? Now, as many of you know, we are kind of or were or ascending out of being a dark spot of the universe, more or less, or at least this galaxy. And yeah, how did this happen? What's actually happened now? It can only get that dark and condensed to a certain level if the collective is at that level. That's why I once posted this video where I said the bad guys are created by the collective, because the bad guys, what they did, were they wanted to free themselves of all responsibilities, and being what basically being the creator is, not responsibility is an earthly term, so it's much more than that, but the highest amount of true direction and awareness and intelligence. You can be, of course, you can put it in words. I would like to be that idea as like a file you can watch, not watch, read to you. Maybe I do on some level. So now the thing when you do this, and I say it unnaturally, because from one perspective there is the possibility for that to happen in a natural way when the collective has become such a dark spot itself, where people already give their power away in a bigger manner. So through that through that one creates outside forces, so to speak, and energetical forces, energies, totally condensed structures. But this happens because of course people wanted safety and groundedness through that, but this happens because especially these control structures, which are now lifted up so much that they can't cling themselves anymore into the earth, good beautiful earth, because it was never founded on truth. That's why they have to cling so much, like how are these animals called? That's how I always compared it, like I only know the German word. Blutegel in German. Well, I don't say always in English cockroaches, I know different animal, but they are actually, the animals are in tune with nature, so it's not a real example because they're at least in tune with nature and they know that the purity of being an expression as the creation or the child of the cosmos that they are, or creation at least. So they know this tune or are in tune with that more to a greater extent than humans are, because humans kind of got lost in the mind and the structures and patterns they try to create with their mind, and then they got lost in these patterns themselves to have some structure, because they didn't look at the core and but this all leads to the greater ascension. So it was actually there for you to realize. So the core actually is the whole guilt of you, or you being shamed unrightfully at some point, or you just taking on the guilt of being, and of being who you are, and you essentially then assuming you're the or getting the belief or pattern in some kind of way that you're the bad guy, and then you either deal with it trying to figure it out along the way. You either get in a direction because essentially there are only two ways, but then it all depends on your consciousness and how you try to figure out how much you pave your own way and try to find your own way, or how much you are in flow, flow through that, or how much you think you need first and foremost direction, and then you give your power away to the direction, but it's the wrong direction because it's turned against self. So you become a narcissist, or you embody that, or worse, basically because you say fuck it, I'm when the whole world thinks I'm the bad guy, you say so be it, but it's not like that, because it's a mistruth, or it's a falsehood, and not aligned in truth, or the highest truth that you are, in the creator that you are, and you try to rebalance it through getting that direction of the creator essence through using this opposing pattern or force that you energize, and which is energized by that. And most of the time that's you then giving your power away and wanting to be, wanting to rebalance that, in that you give away all your responsibilities and try to take everything from the outside world, because you wanna experience that you are the purity of creation as well. But you also, what's there is still this misbalance of the masculine feminine energy, so you never really looked and healed. You pushed away your hurt inner child further and further, and you try to push it on the outside because you want to shake it off. And uh, basically you're giving all your power away. But it correlates perfectly to where perfectly. Unfortunately, when we get at a certain level, or the lower we get, the more people in general as well, the collective as well, because the collective gives the power away to those who give their power away the most. So they're all energizing these outside forces, which are rooted in taking, and so it gets worse and worse, which is quite unfortunate. But if no one is willing to look at themselves and wants to push it out, that's actually what you're creating, because you're pushing that energy out, and that's what creation will mirror. So the original we might say blueprint, or how it is, creator creation, is that it's perfect in essence, mirroring you back what you where you're at right now, what you're creating if you really want it. But if you ignore that and you push out these things even further, then that's what actually what you're creating. And you gotta realize it at some point, because you now ask, but how did God let this happen? Well, first and foremost, if you were so much on that guilt path, and you believe in the guilt trip, but you don't want to look at it because it's actually an emotion, energy in motion, condensed in its form. And if you don't bring your awareness to it and feel it and put it in the right direction, you then push it out at some. If God would, for example, try to take it away from you, this would lead you in even darker valley, so to speak, in your mental state, and then you want to create even more hate. But also you got free will, and you are actually so loved that you actually, when the more you look at yourself and bring consciousness to it, the more you realize, if you really bring your consciousness to it, and that's why we who are willing to do this work, the more you can see this fully. At one point, you just let it go, as easy as it sounds, and it really feels like you burn it off inside, like you burn it and burn it off into, you transmute it into what it originally was, light, unbound, free, bring it back to the creator, and seeing it as being fully seen. That would be the point where you would get to that and realize that. That's why this is all rooted in misunderstanding and pushing that guilt, aka that darkness around, where you feel like you did everything you could, and you were and it was your fault that shit hit the fan. But then if this hurts, it's already not rooted in truth, so it's misaligned. So it's actually this knot that you try to release, because if it would be fully seen, it wouldn't hurt, because it would feel, perfectly loved, and you can feel it like if you bring full consciousness to it, that's what you already got. It's the same like if you punch against something and it's hurt, but you let the hurt or the pain expand and travel through, and you make this as conscious as it can be, it will move into thin air. And it's the same what you do with these energies actually. So if it would be fully seen, it wouldn't hurt anymore, because you brought all consciousness to it. So if something hurts, what the counter movement is, it's contracting as a sign because it hurts, to then find this strength, or find the consciousness to release it back and fully heal, so to speak. So I don't know how to better explain it right now. So the whole point of this video then is responsibility is one thing, but we at the point where we really got to look at what we're creating, at what we're wanting to create, and what energies we're dealing with, because that's the whole point. Here's the thing: these energies, where you might think they attack you, they're just stating where things are left in the dark, aka the past, aka the unconscious, aka giving your energy or energizing pathways which were rooted in that, and keep you in that until you fully acknowledge that, and realize that and realign that, so you come back to a greater truth and can truly embody who you came here to be, and be in your light, and be the creator that you are, as well as the purity of creation that you are. So that's the master the master plan, or that's the master guide, or however you want to look at it. And then you can actually create from there, and then it gets real joyful, because you perfectly respect all your expressions, so to speak, and create with joy, and blissfulness. And every time every time something like that pops up, it's energizing. It's forces that were energized by the old, and of course they're stating otherwise, because they're showing you their old way. But you can just integrate it. You can. It's kind of like direction is like that, because in the old paradigm, it could only go that way seemingly, because this darkness outside here was energized so much, the idea of that. But then you practically through moving through your consciousness, move that thing here away, or shine your light on that, see that here's no blockage there, and then you can realign the direction fully into what you want to create, or in the truth that you are, into these higher realms, or states, or thoughts, or mental capacity of what you are able to create. And then it aligns with your outer field as well on some point. uh, of course, some people who might energize these things and see that you're on the bring to transform that, but they still energize it, so they might show up for you to recognize that. So that they're there, and then you can acknowledge that and handle it in the best way you can, hopefully, and then you can get focused on what you really want to create. Man, I'm just still wondering what I actually wanted to talk about in this video, but I shared some things I wanted to share. Yeah, these, like, from that perspective, like these old ways of horses, you can call them, you know, demons or whatever, but people at certain stages, they try to get the energy from that because they energized it so much, and so these outside forces they created energize them. You know, it's kind of like it's a distorted yin and yang. It's like they energize this outside idea of where they get the energy from, and these energies then energize then in return, uh, because they made this pathway or pattern. Both begins with pa, right? Pater. So they tried in that way. So they try everything to get a juice from there, because that's how they managed to survive in whatever manner this might be. Uh, but this can't work if the collective, you know, stands up and takes back their power and become the sovereign beings that we are, because then they have no energy they can take, because to take you need something you can get the energy to choose the life force from. And if everyone is you know, creating such an uplifting movement themselves, uh, be on a on an upward path, not on a downward path, not on distorted path, on unconscious path, everyone trying to figure it out, and still in this trying to look on what outside paradigm you can find yourself, because you will never find yourself as that if it's an outside paradigm, because it's a pattern created that at one was put in place to support you, or at least you thought it was there for that, or depending on what you created, but you never really can find yourself as that, because that's in creation. That's, and you were already the perfect creation that you are, so you won't need it from the outside, and you're already the creator that you are, why you can find yourself as that. So the outside will continue to be a mirror for that, to fully bring that back into balance, and realize that, and yeah, bring you back into your power and into your light. So I hope this might help some of you. Please let me know in the comments. I try to my best to share these things in the best possible way. I'm also on to creating other things and ways of sharing my truth. So thanks for watching. peace, and until next time.